Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. Right, so the Apple September event 2022 is right around the corner, and of course the rumor mills have been churning non-stop. And boy, do we have some juicy ones for you today. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants.
Hey, what's up guys? It's great to see you all again, and if you're new here, I'm Patrick, and this is where I ramble about tech and other stuff. Now, like every year, September means Apple season, and to us nerds, that's better than Christmas, and don't we just love to speculate about what's coming? Obviously, speculation is only fun when some very credible sources are involved, and the rumors have a good chance of actually being true. Starting off with the date of the actual event, which is said to be earlier than previous years, namely on September 7th. This isn't just some random rumor, this comes from our good friend Mark Gurman, who we've come to know as one of the, if not the most reputable leakers out there. Last time the tally was made, his accuracy rating was a whopping 86.5%. Sadly, Sam Cole, the creator of Apple Track website, seems to have called it a day, so this rating might not be fully up to date, but it's safe to say that Bloomberg's Mark Gurman is usually pretty spot on about these things, so I'm confident in assuming the 7th as the date for the actual event. This also means that the products presented at this event will hit the shelves earlier than usual. Typically, this happens a week and a half after the launch, so that would mean we can expect the new tech in stores as early as September 16th. Needless to say that the flagship product of this Apple event will be the iPhone 14, as the iPhone still generates more than half of Apple's total sales. Now, before we get into the rumors about the new iPhone's actual specs and upgrades, another interesting question will be what else we can expect at the September event. And here I just want to recall last year's September event, which for me was a total surprise as we saw what I call the rebirth of the iPad mini. You see, typically the September event is when the new iPhones and Apple Watches are launched, and then the new iPads and Macs follow later on at the October event. Not so last year, when I was fully expecting to be focused on the iPhone 13, only to forget all about that phone when Apple announced both a new iPad and an iPad mini at the September event. If you've been to this channel before, you know my love story with the iPad mini 6, a device I never showed any interest in until Apple announced the iPad mini 6 in all of its glory, and I can honestly say it is the iPad I use the most by far every single day. Anyway, according to Mark Gurman, Apple is wanting to return to its normal schedule, so he's not expecting any iPads to launch at the September event, and I tend to agree with him for a couple of reasons I'll get back to later. Gurman bases his theory on the fact that the event will be held early. He argues that this will give Apple an extra week of iPhone sales in the current quarter, boosting their figures. It also leaves more time between the September event and the October event. Now, there have been some indications that the new iPad Pros might arrive early, most notably a leaked case by ESR for the 2022 12.9-inch iPad Pro with an indicated release date of September 7th, which of course coincides with the rumored date of the Apple event. But it's not just the ESR leak, we've heard similar September indications for the new iPad Pro by EV Leaks, which is also known to be a credible source. There are, however, plenty of other sources citing October as the launch date for the new iPads, and I tend to agree with this. There are three main reasons why I don't think the iPads will launch at the September event. The first one is that if it is true that Apple is trying to boost its figures for the current quarter and the iPhone is its main profit-making product, Apple wouldn't want to overshadow the launch of said iPhone with any of the other Pro products. Secondly, both Macs and iPads have suffered from power outages, chip shortages, and rising costs last quarter, so it might not be wise to launch the iPads early. And thirdly, we've seen reports saying that the launch of iPadOS 16 is actually going to be delayed until October, and it seems highly unlikely to me that Apple would launch the new iPad running the old operating system, especially considering iPadOS 16 brings major upgrades to those M model iPads specifically. You know what also looks really great on a shiny new Apple device? Your own website. That's right. And if you don't own a website yet, what's keeping you? If you're a creative or any kind of professional, it's really important to build your own brand, and the easiest way to be found online is to create your own website. No idea how to do that? Squarespace is the perfect tool for you. Trust me, I don't know the first thing about building websites, but when I put together my website using Squarespace a couple of years ago, it literally took me a couple of hours from start to finish. You just pick one of Squarespace's awesome templates, depending on your business, and from there, you can customize it and really make it your own. You You can create member areas, you can set up an online store, do email campaigns, you name it. I may have lost a few pounds since I put together this website, so I'll probably have to take some time this week to update some of the visuals, but I kid you not when I say that shooting the actual photos will take more time than it does to update my website. It's that easy. So guys, head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, make sure you go to squarespace.com/PatrickRambles to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain using the code PatrickRambles. Right, back to the video. So apart from the launch date, what are we expecting this fall? Apple is working on a low-end iPad, of course. I suppose that would be the iPad 10 that will finally get USB-C, as well as, of course, the new M2 iPad Pro models. Apple is also looking to launch new Macs before the end of the year, possibly at the October event, which will most likely be the M2 versions of the Mac Mini, the Mac Pro, and the MacBook Pro lineup. So regarding the new iPad Pros, there aren't a whole lot of super exciting rumors, to be honest, apart from the glass logo on the back, which would indicate that they're bringing MagSafe charging to the iPad Pro, and that could have some really interesting implications for the iPad accessories, because the addition of MagSafe will most likely mean the end of the smart connector dots on the back of the iPad Pro, which would mean the current Magic Keyboard will no longer work, and new keyboards will be launched. And to be totally honest with you, that excites me way more than the actual upgrades to the iPad, as those are very likely going to be incremental. And honestly, I felt the same way when the Magic Keyboard was launched alongside the 2020 iPad Pro. That keyboard is what made the iPad Pro interesting to me, it is what made me buy one, and it's ultimately what started this very YouTube channel. Now, I did a couple of rumors videos last year where we discussed some existing patents owned by Apple showing the new Magic Keyboard with some very interesting innovations, such as a cavity for the Apple Pencil inside the hinge, as well as a full row of function keys, something that has been painfully absent on the current Magic Keyboards. What I really dream of, though, is an iPad Mini Pro. That, ladies and gentlemen, would be an instant buy for me. I never expected to love the iPad Mini 6 as much as I do. Now imagine that thing with a better chip, a better battery, and a better screen. Perfect iPad, without a doubt. Anyway, not a single rumor indicates anything of the sort, so I guess I will just keep dreaming. Right, so what about this new iPhone 14? What do we expect to see there? Well, the iPhone Mini is no more. To me, that's quite surprising given the popularity of the device. It has definitely gathered a following. In fact, I used it for some time before switching back to the iPhone 13 Pro, and I must say I really enjoyed the Mini. But anyway, there have been rumors of the Mini disappearing for quite some time now, and it looks like the September event will be the nail in its coffin. The regular iPhone 14 will be quite similar to its predecessor, but there are rumors of Apple releasing a non-Pro iPhone with a 6.7-inch display, which could be called the iPhone Max, not to be confused with the Pro Max. And that will of course be the first time that happens. Bigger changes are expected for the Pro lineup of the iPhone 14. The notch will be replaced with a pill-shaped cutout for the Face ID sensors and the hole punch for the front-facing camera, giving us a little more screen real estate, which will probably make a lot of notch-hating iPhone users very happy. Of course, the Pro models are expected to get a faster chip, unlike the regular models, by the way, which will keep the current A15 chip. And of course, as always, the camera module will receive upgrades. The Pro models will get a whopping 48 megapixels on the wide-angle lens, as well as a 12 megapixel ultra-wide and telephoto lens. Apple is planning to make some improvements in the video department, as well as better battery life. With that said, there has been no credible source saying that the regular iPhone will get that better battery. So far, it looks like it will be only the Pro models, and if that's not iffy enough, it also looks like those who are planning to shell out for a Pro model can add an extra $100 to the tally, which has now been confirmed by Wedbush, which is also a reasonably trustworthy source. Another thing that looks to be exclusive to the Pro models is ProMotion. There were some early rumors of ProMotion possibly coming to the regular 14 models as well, but those rumors have died out. And to be honest, that wasn't very likely to begin with, in my opinion. Apple wants to make it as attractive as possible for us to spend the big bucks on one of the Pro models, and obviously there will have to be some serious incentives, ProMotion being one of them. In terms of colors for the new iPhone 14, rumors are all over the place. We've seen the craziest colors come by, like teal and royal rose, etc, etc. But let's be honest, those are probably not going to happen, especially for the Pro models, where colors will most likely be limited to graphite, silver, starlight, or gold. And strangely, the purple color keeps getting mentioned by reputable sources, so let's assume that's gonna happen for a second. Personally, I'm not into that color at all, but I'm sure some of you are, so that's cool. The regular iPhone might see a few extra colors like black, white, blue, and red. Guys, let me know in the comments which color you would love to see on your next iPhone. Are you even interested in an iPhone, or are you like me and secretly hoping for a little surprise in the iPad department in September? If you enjoyed the video, please give it one of these. It really does help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will be reviewing a bunch of these Apple products once they hit the store, so don't miss out on that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.